right, it's 11 on the dot Pacific time, so let's get started. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our weekly 30-minute webinar. My name is Brian McKay, Systems Engineer here at Verify, and I'll be your host for today's session, where we will be discussing how to quickly start using Verify dashboards for Webex call analytics. Here to walk us through, we have fellow engineer Mike Stratton. How you doing today, sir?
Oh, good, Brian. How are you?
Good, good. Always good to be back for these. It seems they're pairing you and me up a lot. We're getting to be regulars on this.
Yeah.
Can't complain, and it's a nice day outside, so that doesn't hurt. All right, so please note that these webinars are always recorded and posted within 24 hours, so you can review them anytime. Check out verify.com/company/webinars for all our past and upcoming sessions. Let's go ahead and move to the next slide here. Let's start with a quick overview of what Verify can do for you. Then we'll jump into a live demo where Mike's going to go through the Webex dashboarding. We'll pause for Q&A during the demo. If you have any questions, make sure to put them in the Q&A panel, bottom right of the screen. And after the Q&A, we'll reward one lucky attendee with a $50 Amazon gift card. So hang around to see if you've won. Quick overview of Verify. Verify is the preferred analytics and management solution tool for Cisco and Zoom and now Teams collaboration. Deployable either on-prem or as a hosted cloud solution, we provide industry-leading call reporting and analytics, as well as customizable dashboards and widgets, UCCX reporting, remote phone control, change management, Cisco Cube CDR, Zoom, and Webex call reporting, and our most recent addition as of Verify 16, Microsoft Teams call reporting. Let me take a deep breath. After all that, if you have questions on any of our features, please contact us at support@verify.com or reach out to your account manager. One more thing before we kick this off. For an additional fee, Verify offers an enhanced consulting service to our customers. Verify's SE team will engage with you on a one-on-one basis to remotely provide additional consulting, report building, dashboard configuration, and system monitoring assistance. This is a service that provides you with a dedicated Verify support engineer to do the heavy lifting, giving you a stress-free, hands-off experience. For more information, please contact us or your account manager. We'll be glad to speak more in depth about pricing in terms of service for our enhanced consulting services or ECS. And with that, let's go ahead and get into the wild. I'm going to hand it over to Mike here.
All right.
That's a good screen to start on.
Yeah, we can ignore the error, but so today what we're going to be going over, what I'll be kind of showing is kind of like a quick start, brief introduction into the dashboards, more not the dashboard, but more so the widgets that come with the Webex call analytics reporting. This is my local lab. It's not connected to anything. That's why you see the error. So this is more for kind of like a follow-up we just did a couple weeks ago, the quick start guide for the reporting, and now we're going to jump into the dashboard. So if you are familiar with the call manager widgets and dashboards, then this is going to be very familiar to you, or this will be pretty much the same. The same, 6 widgets are available for Zoom and Call Manager and Webex and Cube and all the different platforms. So this is just kind of get you started. So when you first access the software, you'll see here, ignore this error. The first time you go into your dashboard and widgets, you'll see this menu if you've never created a dashboard before. Say, Drats, you currently have no dashboards, no worries. Simply click on the button below to create one. You would create a dashboard and then just give it a name. If I could type, we'll just do it the easy way, Mike's dashboard, and then save it. So now this will give you a blank template where you can create widgets. You can create multiple dashboards, and you're not limited to just one platform per dashboard. So you can mix and match. You can have a call manager widget next to a Webex calling widget that's right across from a contact center express widget, assuming you have all those different platforms, feeding data into Verify. So let me jump into the big system here. We actually have some good data. So this is my dashboard. I just went ahead, I created one widget for each, one of each of the 6 widgets. And actually all 6 of these widgets are using the same search set. So it's the same data, just displayed in 6 different ways. And so going off, if you've never used it before, the whole idea of a quick start guide, going across the top here, the drop down will let you select or go through your dashboard. So you can have more than one dashboard, and so your list will be here. It's alphabetical, and then at the bottom you'll see a list of dashboards that have also been shared with you. So within Verify, users can share dashboards with other users or with other user groups. And then by going to one of these shared dashboards, you can't modify the user's dashboard, but you can make a copy of their dashboard or a copy of their widgets, and then make modifications or bring them into your own dashboards. The three dots next to the drop-down box will give you options to either edit, copy, share, or delete. The copy function will then make a copy of your dashboard. So all the same widgets. This is great. Like if you are rolling out multiple dashboards, let's say you have 5 different call queues or hunt groups, and you want one dashboard per each. And they're all the same, just different data behind the scenes. What you could do is you build one dashboard, make a copy, go in, edit, and modify all of the widgets that to search for the search for the second hunt group or call queue, and that way you're not completely recreating each dashboard from scratch. And then the other options, edit, share, and delete. Edit will take you back to the edit screen where you can go through the icons, basic, sharing, permalink, public access, as will the share icon here will take you back to the same menu. It'll just, instead of going to basics, you're going to go to the sharing menu, where then you can, well, I'll start at the top. Basics, you can change the name of your dashboard once it's already created. Sharing, this is where you can share the dashboard with other verified users. So you can turn it on, turn it off, and then select, if I want to share with Brian here, I can select Brian from the list, add him to my user group, and then he has access to, or I've shared a copy of this dashboard with Brian's user. Third icon down is called public access permalink. What this does is when it's enabled, so when you first get in here, it'll be disabled. It looks more like something like this. You can come in, allow public access, which means anybody within your network who goes to this URL will see a copy of your dashboard. So here, bring it up, that load. Oh, I saw the passphrase enabled, so I typed it wrong. So I had the passphrase enabled. I'm here, and we'll go ahead and save it now. And then now they'll see a copy of this of your dashboard, but they can look, but they can't touch. So they can edit, you can modify, or you can kind of click and drag, change things around, move things around, change the font size, but they can't modify the data. This is great if you want to give access to maybe managers or other employees, but you don't want to give them access to Verify. Or if you have a TV somewhere, or you need an excuse to put a TV somewhere, you could always throw this up on a browser somewhere, and I think it's F11. Yeah, we'll go full screen, and then you can put this as like a wallboard. And the permalink will not log you out, so you'll stay logged in, and then this will refresh throughout the day, just like the main dashboard will. Okay, we cover, yep, and then delete. If you want to delete your dashboard, go ahead and use the delete function there. If you want to create a new dashboard, the icon's right here. And then on the right-hand side, you've got the appearance button where you can change the font size, you can change the vertical spacing, or the horizontal spacing if the widget does have horizontal lines, or does have columns. You can change it here. You can also change your label sets. So label sets come into play where if you want to rename columns or fields. So think of like calling party number instead of showing calling party number or called number. If you want to show more like extension or phone number or something like that, you can you can go into the software and set up custom label sets under the reporting section, where then you can apply different names to the different fields, and then you can apply them to the widgets here. And then the blue button on the far right here, new widget. So when you're adding new widgets to your dashboard, click the new widget button, and then just kind of follow the steps. Pick from your drop down list. Application will give you the one announcement widget, which is like scrolling text across the screen. Or if you want to go to call analytics, then you'll have the option to pick your platform. In this case, we would pick Webex, and then you can pick from one of the 6 different Webex, or 6 different widget types. And so the 6 that I have there, you would pick your widget, click next, and then just like building a report, you have the navigation icons on the left-hand side, configuration, search, test, time period, and widget info. And then on the right-hand side, or when you click one, it'll take you to a different menu, and then just kind of set up what you're looking for with the widget. So I will jump out of here real quick, and then just kind of go through the 6 widgets, kind of explain what they do, what they're displaying, and then kind of I'll modify them and show you kind of if there's any tips or tricks as far as configuring the widget. So we'll start top left corner here. This is the call distribution widget. It's taking a group of, it's kind of like a grouping widget where it's taking the data and it's giving you like a chart or a graph that is breaking down the call or the search. It's breaking or it's grouping on something. In this case, all of my widgets here are based on a hunt group search. So if I edit this widget here, you can see let me start with the search set. So here's my search set. I just selected a bunch of different different hunt groups for my search. But when you are building out a widget, you have two options. You can either build a search set specifically for this widget, or if you already have like a report built and you want to take the search from that report, you can click on existing Webex Calling report, come in here and select your report. So like if you have and this is a cool trick where if you don't want to modify, like if you have like let's say like a group of users or a group of hunt groups or like a specific report where you're building it for like a manager or a team or something, instead of having to maintain multiple reports, different widgets, and a whole dashboard. You can, if it's possible and if it works in your situation, you can then assign the WebEx report to the widget instead of having to modify for whatever reason this search here. By modifying the report back in the call analytics and reporting screen, you can then like here, if we're using this call history report, you can then you only have one object to modify, which is the report. So any changes to the search in the report will then also be reflected within the widget or widgets. So we'll keep this guy here. Same way as building any other search set. You would select what you're looking for from the drop down list. Other cool tip I always like to show new users. All of our drop-down lists have a built-in like filter. So like in this case, you see the cursor here. Let's say I'm looking for correlation ID. I can just start typing, and I just CORREL brings back correlation ID. That way, I don't have to scroll up and down through this list to try to find that one field I'm looking for. If you know what it's named or can kind of guess what it's called, name, if not name, user. And this way, if you're going through the WebEx data, we use user a lot. This way, it'll filter the results, and that way you're not scrolling through an entire list of criteria. What else? Let me see if I can find. I don't know if this does it. Let's try. Also, when you are selecting people from the list, when you have the option here where it says is, if you want to do the opposite and says is not, or if you want to, because right now this search is including certain managers. If you click on is not instead of is, that'll be the opposite. Now you're excluding certain managers. So another cool trick that not a lot of users always pick up on or notice right away is when you see is as part of the result or the option, clicking it will change it from is to is not. All right. So going back, so when you are configuring this search set, definitely you can either do the report, build it for the widget. Back in the configuration screen, everything else is pretty straightforward. All of the widgets are really going to have these boxes at the top. You can give the widget a title. You can pick your organization. So if you have multiple organizations or multiple WebEx organizations feeding data into Verify, you can swap between the organizations. You can also change or swap between the different widgets once they've been created. So if I want to change the widget from call distribution to call history, I can just come in here and save, pick a couple of fields. Let's just do that real quick, a couple of times. And then by modifying it, I've gone from the graph to just something that's going to look like this call history details here, but with only 2 columns. So if you want to swap between different widget types, you can. Let's go back to distribution. You can change the color. Right now, I have the blue color theme. The icon is, once I save it, you'll see the little phone icon here in the top right corner. If you want to change that, pick whatever you want to do from the list. You can change the refresh interval. In this case, this is not a live system, so I have it set for 1 hour. Change your formatting, and then the important part of this widget is your grouping. So right now, I'm doing a search on the called hunt group, and I want my results to show a breakdown of which hunt group has received the most calls or out of my results. So I have the top 5 results here. I'm grouping on the called hunt group, but I can always change my grouping here. So with my search on all these different hunt groups, I'm also only filtering on the top 5 hunt groups. That gives me this result here where I have the 5 hunt groups here. I can turn them on or off by clicking on them, and then by hovering over, I can see the count for each hunt group here. Also, when you're creating a widget, third icon down is time period. This is where you can select, how far back do you want the widget to search. Default is current day, but just to get some more data in there, I have it set for previous week. But you can always change it to, whatever time range you want. There's plenty of options from the drop down list. And then here, I see some users always get kind of hung up on this. This here is to exclude days of the week. So some users come in and they see this and go, oh, well, I want to include Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. By doing this, you're excluding Monday through Friday. So if you only want to report on weekends, then leave it as this because you are excluding, not including. So we'll go ahead and unselect all. So really, if you want everything in the report, in the widget or in the report, this also applies on the reporting side too. Leave these all unselected. You could also, when you're playing with the time period, if you turn off the all day toggle, you can filter the results. And I've done that in a couple of the other widgets. I'll show you that in a couple seconds. And then change your time zone. So we'll go ahead and cancel out of here, not save any changes. Move to the right. This is the utilization concurrent call activity widget. This shows you the number of overlapping calls. This is great back in the Cisco world, where if you're looking at like SIP trunks, gateways, and you want to see call traffic, do you have enough bandwidth available to handle your call traffic? This can also be used with staffing. When you're looking at like hunt groups and call queues in Webex, you can apply this to see how busy is my queue. So I get or hunt group. So this would tell you how many concurrent calls were there. In this case, within a hunt group, so you can see, do I have enough agents? Like if your peak usage, like in this case, our peak concurrency was on the 9th. There were 10 calls going on at one point in time between 11:50 and 11:59. So that means I needed 10 agents to have 10 agents available. If I have 40 agents as part of my hunt group, well, maybe I'm overstaffed. If I only have 10 agents and they can only take 10 calls, maybe I need to have more agents available at that time. So this is a great widget to kind of show you concurrent activity, and I'm going to show you how it's set up. So when that widget is deployed, you have the same icons or the same boxes at the top. You can change the color, change the icon. But here you've got the data interval. So right now it's set for 10 minutes. So it's going to break down the call data. Every dot is 10 minutes. And then going back, it's also then, so my time interval set for 10 minutes. My time period is set for the previous week. But I've turned off the all day toggle, and I only want to see 8 to 6, because when it's turned on, there's a lot of empty space. Once it refreshes, you'll see some empty space on the left between midnight and 8, and then after 6 to midnight, there's empty space. So I don't care about this time, except maybe for this right here. But not worrying about that. I want to see when my hunt groups are actively taking their calls, when my call center is open. So we'll turn this off. Keep it to 8 to I think it's 6. No, we'll keep it at 5 or 9, and then go from there. Going back, my search says I have the same search, so I have that big group of hunt groups, but you can get same thing. You can change it or select from an existing report, and that's kind of it for this widget. Everything kind of. You could also include. I wish I should show the summary bar, which when this is turned on, it'll just show you some counts and some stats. I think at the top. I'll let it refresh. Yeah, right at the top. So you have my total call count, average duration. So you could actually take like this widget here and then combine it into this widget, kind of save some space. And then we'll go to the next widget here. This is the call statistics widget. This widget is used a lot to highlight just important metrics and data. So I see a lot of users, well, they just, they'll set up as a single cube. And when you are another tip, when you have a widget and you want to make another widget that uses the exact same search, instead of going to new widget and creating a new widget, you can just go click on it. You can edit your widget, click on copy, and then make a copy of it. And now, oh, it's a little too small. Hang on. Oh, it's going to be, hang on, let's move for you. And now you have a copy of that widget where then you can jump in here and modify it. But the call stats widget is, it takes your search set that you built, and back in the configuration section, you can pick from a large group of call stats, stuff like total call count, average duration, sequence count, ring times, connected percents, answered calls. I mean, everything here that you would see in the report, and then you could throw it into a widget and then highlight whatever metric or value you're looking for. So in this case, this is my total call count for all those hunt groups, 2,631 calls. This one just hasn't refreshed yet to include the other calls, but I can also include average call duration. So now I've got two widgets showing different or showing the data. This guy down here, call history details. This is your the call history or the detailed call history you would see in a report. So same search, improve it. Same search here. But what this one is bringing back, it's bringing back all the calls and then it's showing detail. So this is for if there's 50 calls in the search or in the returns, it's going to show you based on your result display count how many calls, or it's going to show you a breakdown of all the information. So right now, I just have daytime information, calling party number, calling party name, but you can pick and choose what you want from the list here, so you can see who's calling in or who's calling out. In this case, if this was like my hunt group, this is giving me a list of the last, I think I said last 20 callers. So yeah, the last 20 callers. So I can see who's been calling in, the last 20 callers. But this can be used for looking at the last not connected calls, or once it's available, hopefully in an upcoming release, we can do a widget that shows the last 20 abandoned calls, and so that would be available. So okay, call history detail is great for just showing you the individual call records. So we're here, you're showing counts. Here you can break down the detail here, and then bottom widget here. Call volume by time period, much like the utilization widget, it's showing you an hourly breakdown. But this, instead of looking at the peak usage, this is going to give you, the number of calls per whatever time is selected. In this case, this one is showing you the number of calls per hour of day. But you could break it down to quarter hour. You can go as high as a month. So if I did quarter hour, see a little bit more data. Let it refresh. Now I can see, a breakdown by quarter hour. I can see, what's my busiest quarter hours here. Was it 215, 136 calls, not 136 overlapping calls or concurrent calls, but just 136 calls total at that time. Change the color, everything else just kind of revolves around. I mean, the main thing that's different from all the other widgets, you have this drop down here where you can pick your time period, but everything else the same, search stats, time periods, and all that good stuff here. And then the widget to the bottom left corner, this is the grouping statistics widget. This is much like the grouping section in the call analytics reporting, where you are taking your search. So in this case, again, the same search, my called hunt group, and I'm grouping it based on something. So I could group it based upon the called party name if I wanted to see. I mean, I would need some modification on the search set side if I want to see which agents are taking calls. But in this case, I'm just doing a simple grouping it on the hunt group to see which hunt group is taking or having the most calls, average call duration, and then average ring time. So same thing as the grouping section in the analytics reporting. You pick your primary grouping type. You can also pick your maximum count. So how many entries you're showing in the widget, and then at the bottom pick the statistics that you want to see in the widget and on the dashboard. Everything else the same, search sets, time period, these are all the same for every widget, and that covers the top 6 or the 6 widgets that are available. I'm trying to think. I think that kind of covers it. Use the copy function when you're making changes. You can also, for this widget here, if you edit, or actually not edit, if you go down, there's a couple of different options. So edit we covered, delete is straightforward. Copy, if you want to copy it to the same dashboard. If you want to copy your widget from one dashboard to another, use the copy to function, and then pick your dashboard from the drop-down list. So if you want to move your widget to another dashboard, you can do it here. And then cancel out of here. And then refresh, we'll just refresh the query, and then the appearance. So if you want to change the appearance or the font size For the one widget, you can go super large, super small. Change the vertical spacing if you want to, see how the data fits into the widget. You can play around with it. And then in our later releases, or more current releases, we have the ability to change the horizontal spacing. So if you want to space out, you want to change the spacing. Actually, I wouldn't do it through here. Click on this little icon right here, and then you can change the column width to see how they to make it fit your screen better. And then save, and then you're all set. And that should also be reflected in the permalinks too. Yeah, cool. We'll pause here. I know we're kind of low on time. Brian, any questions?
I do not see any questions, so I guess that means you nailed it.
Kept it simple. Cool.
All right, awesome. I'll go ahead and take it back then if you don't have anything else. Next week, we're going to be kind of a similar topic, but for Microsoft Teams instead of Webex. So if you're at all interested in Teams, be sure and register for that. That's going to be next week, same time, with our Director of Engineering, Victor, and Jim, fellow systems engineer. So please be sure to tune in for that. And thanks again, everybody, for joining us today. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, and we will see you next time.